Hey there. Welcome back. It's Sunday. We are back from the Mopars in the Park show. We had a great time. Um, let's get into that right after this intro. Be right back. Alrighty, so here you can see these are the shots of some of the models starting. Like I said, we had 65. This guy here did the majority of these builds here on the corner, and they were phenomenal. Here we're coming into some of the juniors. We got my sons, my tractors in the background, of course my Cornet, the Dart, the Barracuda, on this white truck with a trailer. It looked like a scratch-built trailer with a Charger on it. There's a couple street rods in here, which was cool to see. We have a beautiful Charger there in the background. This Eleanor Mustang was really cool. The petty car, I love that petty car. That thing was very bright. Of course, there's Tyler's Barracuda. Also the little 143rd Barracuda, his Duster, really cool. I believe this is his dad's. This would be Bob Holliday's orange peel van. Of course, my buddy Ryan's Dodge truck. He did the Batum dragster there as well. This Christine looking Fury, that was cool. The gasser, really cool. A bunch of really cool builds in the background. Now you're starting to get into some of Troy's builds. You're going to see this blue Duster. I fell in love with the blue Duster, but the competition, the California Flash car, was phenomenal build too. Everything he does is very well detailed. There's that blue Duster I fell in love with. This Highway Patrol car, that was, I believe that's the same one at NNL. That was cool. We had some really good builds. The chopper was really cool too. I think that was at NNL. But what a great weekend. Now this here is Jeffrey Clausen's, some of his builds. Our friend that is no longer with us. A picture of Jeffrey. Alrighty, so we got through that intro. We had a phenomenal time this year at Mopars in the Park for 2026. I was asked to help out this year at the model contest that they have at the show, which is only on Saturday, and that is ran by my buddy Paul Seppi, and then his daughter and his son, and they do a phenomenal job. They always have done a phenomenal job, and I've known Paul for a very long time from one-to-one stuff. Nonetheless, it was a great time, a lot of fun. I gotta say a shout out. So I did win a model. I took second place with my Dart, and I won a model. And I gotta say a big shout out to Ralph's Models there. He donated all the kits for second place. And I went and talked to him because we had 3 juniors that entered, and I was going to purchase the kits, and Ralph said, nope, don't do that, Jason. I'm gonna donate them. So that was really cool of Ralph to do a last minute donation for all the juniors, so the juniors all got kits. Really cool. So thanks again, Ralph, for everything you've done over all the years at Mopars. NNL, I seen he gave all the juniors kits there at NNL as well. So Ralph is a great guy. So if you see Ralph at a model show, he doesn't have an online store, but if you see Ralph at a model show, go show him some love. His kits are very fairly priced. So I got a bunch of those to show you coming up in the next few weeks. I was given an award. We had a gentleman that I've known for a while. Of course, My buddy Paul grew up with him, and I did not see him as much as Paul has, and he sadly passed away last fall. And I kind of touched on it in the past, that I lost a friend, and it was really sad when I heard that Jeffrey passed. And this year he always was at this model contest. He was always one fair judge, and he was a great model builder. So Paul had gotten some of the models that he had built and from his mother, and they did like a memorial area. You'll see that at the end of the video. And they also decided to do a Jeffrey Clausen Memorial Trophy, and they're going to do that every year. So going forward at the Mopars in the Park model contest, there's going to be a different recipient of the Jeffrey Clausen Memorial Trophy. And basically, Paul is kind of picking what he thinks that his best friend would have picked off the table. So Jeffrey was very unique. He loved his performance and his competition stuff. And I'm very honored to win this trophy this year. This is huge trophy. But there it is, Jeffrey Clausen Memorial Trophy. I don't even know what to say. But Paul said if Jeffrey was here, he would have picked that tractor. So I won this with my 5-engine Mopar paint scheme tractor. And he said Jeffrey would have loved that tractor. He said we got to give it to you. So I'm very honored to get this trophy. This is going to stay in here. I have also asked that if there was any models or anything like that that I can purchase from the family to have of Jeffrey's builds, because he meant a lot to me as well. We have a bunch of us guys that know Jeffrey, and Jeffrey was always somebody that I always looked up to and talked to at the car shows. And we'd talk slot cars. He was doing slot cars. He did some RC in the past, but we would talk a lot of model stuff in the last 4 or 5 years. And of course, sadly, he was building a 70 RT Challenger as well, and unfortunately just didn't get time to get it finished. So very emotional to get that trophy. Even my buddy Paul was having hard time getting through the speech as well, and it's terrible to even have to talk about your friends that are gone. So yeah, I'm just, it sucks. It really does. So I'm very honored to have that trophy. Now, the other thing that I'm very proud of is that my son took his time and finished up his Coronet, which you might, if you go back into like November when the AMC Live, me and Bruce did the AMC Live 72-hour group build right around Thanksgiving time, and me and my son were doing the father-son Coronets. I showed you my Coronet the other weekend, and so my son finished up his Coronet, and he had it at the show, and he also got a second place award there as well. So really cool. He's really pumped. This is the first model he's ever put in a show, and I thought, with his permission, I said, can I show it on the channel? He says, absolutely, Dad, show it on the channel. So I'm going to turn this camera around. I'm going to show you Josh's rendition of his Coronet, and we'll go from there. So be right back. Alrighty, so this is my son's Coronet. He wanted to pay tribute to the box art, and so he did that. The only thing that he kind of changed up here was really two things. So this whole model would basically be box stock, other than the fact that he took this hood scoop for the top of the carburetors out of the one of the Challenger kits. So that's the only part that's not that is not out of the box. So other than that, The whole car is box stock. And then the other thing that he changed from the box art would be, instead of the neon green, like the sassy green, the lime green, he went with more of a lime. It's a pearl lime. This is a Tamiya paint that he spray painted on there. So this is all Tamiya products, and he used Tamiya, the Tamiya primers, and then he also used the Tamiya paint. And it's a beautiful pearl green, like a lime green color. And he just wanted a little pizzazz to the paint versus what the box is. Used all the kit wheels and tires. He did strip all the chrome pieces off because there was flashing and stuff like that. So he sanded, stripped it all, and then re-chromed it all with Revell. It does, let me pause this because the hood's a little tricky to get off. Alrighty, so we got the hood off. The hood's a little tricky to get off with that scoop on there. But he did a really good job of detailing this motor. He's got the dual overhead cam prototype Hemi that's stuffed in there. Did a lot of like black washing and panel liner detail work. Again, like I said, this is the stock wheels and tires. He left it open headered. He kind of shaded, faded in the paint job on the sides like the real car would be. You can see the primer streak down the middle, little panel liner on all the components and stuff. Kind of gave it a little weathered look, which was all new for him to do that. This was probably the first one too that he started to learn the body work. If you have built this AMT Coronet, you know from your builds that there's a hump in the tops of these quarter panels where the mold is kind of either shifted or it was just something in the bad tooling. So you have to cut that down to get the arc correct and then smooth into the B-pillar. So the one thing with these coronets is you got a little bit of work that you got to do in those quarters. And then some of them have flash on the very edge of these fenders, so that you got to deal with. But remarkably, this thing turned out really good. I'm very proud of him. He took his time. He showed some patience. He tried quite a few new things. Even did bare metal foil. It took him a little bit to do the bare metal foil, but he got through it. It's very intimidating and very scary when you start bare metal foiling and then dragging a knife and you don't want to scratch into your paint. So did a really good job. As far as clear coat goes, he used the Duplicolor 1K clear on this in the spray can. That turned out really good. So there's no color sanding on this paint job at all. Just shot it with that clear and then baked it in the easy bake oven. And then we kind of polished it up by hand with a little Wizard's wax, and it turned out great. So I'm very proud. So I know he's extremely happy to get this build done, get this one off the bench. He's going to go back on his Dart. He wants to finish that up now because he feels that he learned a lot from this one and the GTO that he did in the 48-hour group build. And he definitely wants to have some more stuff done so that he can take to model shows. He had a lot of fun doing this build. I think the next thing that we're going to have to show him and teach him is how to do distributors and plug wires. That is something that he just not comfortable in trying yet, but I think that's going to be the next thing. He wasn't going to do the bare metal foil, but the paint job turned out so well. He did a really good job with the paint job that when we pulled it out of the oven after the clear coat, I told him, I said I would just leave it at this point, and I said I would try to bare metal foil it because I think the extra touch to the adding the chrome trim on the windows is going to help. He didn't feel like trying to tackle the corner glass here, but he did do the door handles, so that's really cool. I never do the door handles. I always just marker the door handles. So he did bare metal foil his door handles. So but I'm very proud of him. and I know he's proud of this build, and he's going to treasure that, and he's pumped up for the next one. So let's flip this thing around. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for me, I think. Like I said, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Got to talk to a lot of great people. I got to meet Scott Fisher, another great modeler and a Mopar guy. Got some beautiful cars. Got to talk to him for a while yesterday, so that was awesome time. Of course, Troy Stanky. I seen him at NNL, but we didn't really have much time to talk. NNL is a very busy, buzzing type atmosphere, and then going through the vendors and stuff like that. So I was very glad that Troy came to the Mopar contest, and it was great to talk to him, see some of his other builds. Phenomenal builder. I definitely need to try and get better on some detail painting that Troy can do. I was very impressed. There's a blue duster that you're going to see in that video. That blue duster just blew me away. It was beautiful. A lot of great builders there. There was another guy, I want to say, named Harold Wilson. I could be getting that wrong. He put at least 8 or 9 models on the table, all phenomenal builds. Of course, then you got the Holiday family. Tyler and Bob were there. So really cool. Tyler's Duster was phenomenal. The Barracuda was phenomenal. So looking forward to seeing all them folks at the Back to the 50s in a few weeks. So the Back to the 50s car show at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. They also do a model car contest. That one is very large. Of course, my buddy Ralph, he will be there selling model kits. So if you're in the Minnesota area and you're going to be at the state fair, go to the model car contest area, and Ralph will be in there selling models. He's very fairly priced, and he's a great guy. So you will not be disappointed on the selection of kits. He's always buying collections, and he's always finding good stuff and putting it up for sale. So check him out. But I'm going to say peace out. Hope the rest of you have a great rest of your weekend, and hope you have a great start of your week. And we'll see you on the next one. Like I said, this was a Sunday shop update, show update, and we're out of here. Peace out, everybody. Somebody say, "Hey, Bonnie?" Whoa.